Yes, people, happy Sunday to everyone. Happy Sunday to each and everyone, with there. I'm here again, the Nick and That podcast. Daniel is absent for the first show, but, he should be here later today. But bless up, to all of the father them out there. It is them say a Father's Day, but you don't know celebrate Parent Day. But bless up to each and everyone, the father them out there support them youth. Bless up to the one them still jump off for the truckers yet, make sure next year is a year when we celebrate Father's Day. But me there talk about Reggae Boy football as usual. Should be a very interesting one as Richard Sharpman Edwards supposed to join the live anytime now, talking about a little bit of the Reggae Boy team. What his takes on the current team and the World Cup qualifier, Gold Cup, and everything. And I have some questions I really want to ask him, because there is sometimes a little speculation, around in his own career as well. So the first segment, of the show, I will probably piggyback a little bit, on his career and what happened at Harborview, what happened of going to Portmore and have to jump back ship to Stars of the East, some transfers that didn't happen, that was in the pipeline, fees and stuff agree. I want to know, what went wrong, in his career, why he didn't move to a higher level. And Saul is here, you understand? So Richard Sharpman Edwards should be here very soon. But people, remember, streaming both on platform, the Carter Media House and Daniel Football Show. So make sure that you support both channels, as you don't know, we doing it out here. That game, with Bayern Munchen and Auckland, it seems like a domino Bayern Munich play versus a New Zealand team, 10-0, you know what I mean? I think Musiala came off the bench and scored like a hat-trick. You understand? But yeah, the FIFA Club World Cup is up on us. The Gold Cup is up on us. So we have two major tournaments, overlapping each other at the same time. So, what I mean? A whole lot of football throughout the entire day until the new season return back in sometime in August. You understand? But what's your takes on the Reggae Boys? Yeah, the Gold Cup kickoff tomorrow. Yeah, man, the Gold Cup kickoff tomorrow. We say Guatemala versus the Reggae Boys. We saw that very interesting game last night. Dominica Republic versus the L3. Such a very, very good game. Look, when I watched that, that Dominica Republic game in the national stadium versus Al Grimsey team, I was like, yo, that team seems like it's it's going up on the higher trajectory. You understand? So we're going to get into the show at this moment. We're going to bring, Sharpman Richards over here. You understand? So people hope so you like up the live, you share it, you comment and tell me what you want to talk about. Especially drop some comment in the comment area. You understand what you'd like to ask, Sharpman about anything about the current state of the Reggae Boy team. If you know him in the past, playing in the Jamaican Premier League, playing for the national team and stuff like that, you can drop, your comment in the comment section, and guess what? I will ask him whatever you guys put in there. You understand? So big up to everybody, just forwarding, really appreciate it as well. You understand? I want to ask him a little bit about his career as well. Yeah. I want to ask him a little bit about his career. So I'm going to get, Sharpman Edwards in the chat at this moment. My G, bless up yourself, thanks for passing through, first time on the platform. You understand, just I tell the people about, whoever want to ask, Sharpman about what happened in his career, who used to watch him in the Jamaican Premier League. But how is the day going, man? Touch of class. I think I'm not hearing. I'm not hearing you. I'm not hearing it. No, probably have a jump out and jump back in. Me no know. All right, so just probably jump back out and jump back in. Yes, so a little bit of technical difficulty with Richard Sharpman Edwards, but hopefully we can get that stuff sorted out. Okay, see if anything on my side sort out. Yeah, as trying to get Sharpman back on live. Try to see if anything on my side that need to turn up. See. Like to know if you guys are hearing me perfectly well. Yeah, everything on my side is up. Everything on my side that to get the guest over him, is up. So hopefully the next time when him jump back in, he can really hear what he's saying, because a man that who is doing very good work, in Canada, very good player in his time. They will say, look, a player grew up through the JPL, playing Manning Cup, you understand, and get the opportunity to play overseas. It's always a successful story. And for him, the work that he's doing at this moment, it's unbelievable. You understand? From a player that grew up through the Waterhouse, not just the Waterhouse system, but coming through, the Spanner Dennis era at Santos. You understand? So a lot of stuff to talk about with Sharpman Edwards, waiting on him to get back in as well. But meanwhile, we waiting for Sharpman, to jump back in. What's your takes on the expectation for the Reggae Boys? Yeah, what's your takes on the Reggae Boys to the expectation to get something from this Gold Cup? I would love to hear you guys about, what are the expectation on the Reggae Boys going into the Gold Cup, especially starting tomorrow. I don't think the Gold Cup start yet. The Gold Cup will start tomorrow. As guess what? The biggest team in the Gold Cup, the biggest team in the Gold Cup will kick off tomorrow. But my expectation, I'm not accepting anything beyond semifinal. I think we have everything that needs to get us into the last four, challenge for the title. As I think when you look around CONCACAF, there's not much the pool up between Mexico and America, it's not that big. You understand? The squad depth is there a little bit, but they kind of have their faults as well, especially the US men's national team. The Reggae Boy should look at this team like, yo, if we manage to play this US team again, we must can get something from that game, knock them out of the tournament. And if you look on the other side, I'm watching the Mexico game last night, and it's the same old with the Mexican team. You understand? And 1 second. Are you hearing me, Sharpman? Yeah, you hear me? Oh, mic check 1 2 3. Yeah, you hear me? No. Mic check 1 2 3. Yeah, you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, clear.
All right, I want the good. All right, I want the good.
Yeah.
So kind of get back coach Rich back and live people. So yeah, jump right back forward or pick it up. So everything seems like it's okay at this moment, So we're going to get coach Rich back. Yeah, me G, bless
Yeah.
it.
Blessed, blessed.
Everything governor now.
Straight look.
All right, cool, cool. Back. All right. So yeah, as I'm saying, sorry for the technical difficulty, people, but you don't know it is technology. So sometimes these things, going in and out. But respect for forward, on the show for the first time. We're here to catch up with, a little bit of stuff that needs to get clear up, with your own career, your own academy touch of class, and a little bit of playing in Jamaica and the current state of the reggae boy national team. But I know it's Father's Day. Bless up to yourself. It's time out to Father on the show. Happy Father's Day to you and happy Father's Day to the viewers as well. Anyone that watching this, then happy Father's Day to myself as well. You understand? So we'll jump off of the Gilding truck. But Richard Sharpman Edwards, Wagwan, happy Sunday, my friend.
Yeah, my respect. Thank you for having me. Happy Father's Day to yourself. You don't know, and to all the viewers out there, that taking care of their kids and others.
Yeah. Yeah. More of it, jump right towards where I want to go, Olympic Garden, I remember an interview you did about being a ball boy, really start this journey. You understand? And about giving the ball to a player like, the Walter boy, the Pearl, grew up, in Olympic Garden, coming through Spanner Dennis, academy. I know you said, you nurture the mental state of the game, everything what a young man need at that time to grow up to be a professional. And that's where it all started before, the Waterhouse come in play. But I want to hear a little bit more on the ball boy situation. How did that impact you of giving the Pearl the ball, Nana Low, the Olympic Garden of close by, Kling, Ian Pepe Goodison. Tell me about that, man.
Um, Ricardo, to be honest, the journey and the destination intertwined together. Uh, I first started being a ball boy at Santos. Growing up in Olympic Gardens, I used to idolize my uncles because they were the first one that started this inspiration that I had, um, you know, from a tender age. Because I started playing the game, what we would consider now. I started playing the game late. I started at age 10,
Yeah,
right? But the whole ball boy situation started with street football when my uncles used to play on the street, right? So every ball, whether they're the one who kick it or somebody else take a shot at net, I would chase down the ball and return it so that the game can continue, right? Upon doing that, I started to grasp a passion for the game, and then they used to play what we call back then, I think, what they used to call it, like red label. I think they used
I
to
have no,
call.
I have no idea about that.
Yeah, yeah. So you have red label and you have major league and Sid Bartlett and stuff like that. So
Yeah, yeah,
red
yeah.
before Sid Bartlett. But red label is most of the teams that play red label is like community based teams, right?
Uh,
Where you'll find a little street baller who automatic automatically become the way they call it now, the ghetto pele or the
yeah,
garage,
yeah.
whatever them call it. But anyways, my uncles was a part of that unit, and they used to play for a team called, it wasn't Venom. But yeah, they used to play that thing, and then one evening they had a scrimmage against Olympic Garden, and when they played Olympic Garden, Pepe. I didn't know anything about Pepe at the time because I think Pepe used to reside in Cayman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he used to reside in Cayman, but he would come, I think, on a weekend and play for Olympic Gardens and then go back home, right? So that night when they scrimmage against Olympic Garden, yo, Pepe was a monster. That
Yeah.
much I can tell you. Yeah, man. Like everyone on the pitch, when Pepe, like either he's about to make a challenge or he has possession of the ball, everyone would just back up and clear the way. So I'm like, who is this guy? Yeah, man. And then I think he scored a free kick from probably about 35, 40 yards out. And yeah, man, just the man just sub himself.
Yeah.
Game just
So yeah. So for the viewers, this is what I'm coaching. I'm quoting, Sharpman. Sharpman said, some of these guys I threw the ball to where players like Walter Boyce, Steve Green, Tivali Onandelu and Peter Cargill. You know, I want to get in the part where Tapper wanted you at one point to play like Peter Cargill in the national team, but we're going to get there soon. Yeah. And he said just to name a few, just watching how those guys carried themselves on the pitch made me want to be in the same space one day. And this is where you're at, man. Teaching kids how to play football. You become a professional player. You played outside of Jamaica as well. But from Greater Portmore to Dunoon Technical, how did that really you move from Greater Portmore, help Dunoon, go to the semi-final. Why you guys didn't want it that year?
I think it's lack of maturity at the time. Um, we didn't have enough experience playing at that level, or we didn't have a lot of players on our team at the time that understand what it takes to win a championship. I don't want to put myself in that category because
Yeah,
representing Santos, that winning mindset was already embedded inside of us through the mentorship of Carlton Spanner Dennis. But yeah, on our team at the time, we didn't have a lot of players that want things at that level. So I think inexperience got the
yeah.
better during that process. Yeah.
Who was like any player in that known team that made it to the Jamaican Premier League and become a professional player?
No, but the funny side to this is we have players who transitioned from that team that is
Yeah.
all now a part of the national team setup. Lamar Morgan was our captain.
Okay. Wow. Lamar,
Yeah,
who is doing the fitness and stuff like that.
yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow. Big up.
back then, even back
Yeah.
like his current role within the national setup, it it come to us by no surprise because even when we used to play Manning Cup, he was the one that would lead all the fitness.
Uh,
Yeah, so it's his calling. Put it that way.
what position he played? Was a wing back?
No center back.
Center back. Whoa. I was, his body frame and, his band leg would that think that he's a fullback.
All right, you see where the modern game is right now, where
Yeah.
teams and clubs playing with three at the back, and sometimes the transition from 4 to 5 and then back to three. Lamar Morgan used to be one of those man marker where if you have a striker and the striker is dangerous and you give him that task to say, listen, we're playing 10v10 today.
Yeah.
Even if that player wants to go drink water, Lamar is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he used to play still.
What was the age gap of when you start and when you ended your career, at Santos?
But repeat that.
What was the age gap when you started your career as a youth at Santos, and what age did you decide that you need to move to the next level to a Premier League club?
Okay, so I started at Santos at age 13, if my memory, yeah, 13, and then I ended up leaving. I think closer to 22. I was 21 at the time, and I
Yeah,
moved closer to 22.
yeah,
Um,
and
reason why I ended up like leaving. you know when you outgrow an environment, like you've
Hmm.
so much, then you reach the ceiling and there's nothing more for you to achieve. I think that's what happened to myself,
Yeah,
and like my other teammates who now are my brothers as well. I think
yeah,
that's what happened to us. We hit the ceiling because we want everything as a youth coming right through, like minor league, under 20, major league, super league, and then we went to playoffs like three times, not one, three times, and yeah, we just we couldn't cross the line. So I think the third time was the straw that broke the camel back because we needed 1 point, I think, no, 3 points from three game, and we couldn't get it.
wow,
Couldn't
yeah.
get it. Get it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad to see how a super team like Santos cannot make that challenge. I even remember one time Spanner said he rather develop youths now than make it to the Premier League because it's so expensive and not gaining anything from it. So hopefully Spanner can continue the work over there in Santos. But over Jerusalem, before we go to Abbeville, Jerusalem, how did that really came about of you in around that Waterhouse environment?
So I while being at Santos, we were at one of the Premier League playoff, because at the time when we won the major league, usually all the qualification works to go to Premier League. You win your league, and
Yeah,
then automatically move into Premier League. But at the time, I think Reno was getting relegated at the time, and for some odd reason, we ended up having to play a playoff against Reno. And during that game, it was a two-legged playoff. During the first leg, like I dominated the game,
I think we lost the audio. I think we kind of lost the audio right there. I think we lost the audio a little bit. No, I think we lost the audio. Yeah, you hear me now? I think I say something. No, no, we lost the audio. Touch back out and touch back in. Yeah, touch back out and touch back in. So I don't know. There's a little technical difficulty again. Hopefully you can come back and we can continue the conversation. But yeah, interested one. So many juveniles over the years, Spaniards have shaped to become a professional player or get them ready into the workspace. You understand? So Santos played a pivotal part in a lot of development, across Jamaica, especially in Kingston, of getting the youths ready.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, man, govern up,
Okay.
ready.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, with
I
the
think
playoff thing I
you
was
continue.
saying, yeah, with the
Yeah,
playoff thing I was saying, that's when Wendell Downswell spotted me, and yeah, he gave my name, I think, to Peter Cargill, and he called me up to the U23 team at the time. And when I went to camp, yeah, he fell in love with my playing style and stuff. So the whole Waterhouse thing came about through that avenue.
yeah,
Because going to Waterhouse, it was Peter Cargill who approached me at the time, and I said, you know what, under this guy's tutelage, I must improve because he is one of my idols.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, glad to see a player that came through a firehouse rank. Who was in that midfield, yeah, during that time?
Vincent Earl, Weston Forest,
Yeah,
Damian Capo Williams,
yeah.
Zappa. Remember Zappa?
Zappa, Rastaman
Yeah,
Zappa, yeah.
yeah, Zappa. You have Demar Phillips that was there at the time as well.
Dirty Man was
Uh,
in that team.
yeah, yep. Damian. What that's the name again?
I remember what his name.
Powell. Damian
Yeah.
Powell. Irving English was a part of that
Rest
team.
in peace.
Yeah, man. We had Patrick Reed, Craig White, Yeah, it was a talented squad. Kevin Lamy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was a talented squad. Talented squad.
Yeah,
Really talented
I
squad.
used to scared I used to scared of as a junglist, I used to scared of that Waterhouse thing, especially Capo. Man, I used to scared of Capo, man. You know, every time when he even lay me all on it garden, he's like a dust over the complex. You understand? You know, but what have to talk about, the real accomplishment really start when you jump ship and go to stars of the east,
We never jump ship, We never jump ship. We never jump ship.
But the
Me I gonna
move
give the reason why I leave Waterhouse.
Yeah, but the move though, from Harborview,
From
Waterhouse to
Waterhouse to
Harborview,
Aberview.
yeah.
The-
My father wasn't really happy because he knew that if Harborview get a player like you in the midfield, then it would have give Germany a lot more, you know, freelance around, where you can do lesser work. So a lot of people didn't really like that move. But yeah, give us the reason why you left, man.
Listen, you see, may his soul rest in peace. When Cargill passed away, Max Shaw got the job, right? And then again, I'm not blame Waterhouse supporters, but they're the one who pushed Max Shaw to the side, right? Because their outcry was they wanted Jeffrey Maxwell. May his soul rest in peace as well.
Yeah.
When Maxwell came in, the first move the man make, the man bench me, Wes, and Adrian. That are the three Santos man that Cargill bring in,
Yeah.
right? Without even like having a training session and see if we're talented enough to play at the level or not. The first move we make is to put us on the bench, and it backfire.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it
Yeah.
backfire. When we say it backfire, it backfire. It backfire because after the first game,
Yeah.
and him play with him bring we on in the game, and ever since him not take way off back. But the
Wow.
mood and the vibe within the coaching staff, it wasn't unified like when Cargill was there, right?
Mhm.
And for me, like I need to operate in an environment where unity is at the forefront of everything. And remember, not one of, Waterhouse motto is unity is strength.
Unity means strength. Yeah.
So, like I was working in an environment where there was not enough unity, especially from the coaching staff. And because of that, it ended up trickling down into the team, right? So even when we were playing well, we weren't having enough success because you'd find that the small details from the coaching staff, it wasn't
Yeah.
like concise, it wasn't clear, right? So eventually, um before I moved to Harborview, hear the joke, yeah, I signed for Tivoli Gardens, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I signed for Tivoli Gardens, but my heart, to be honest, was always at Harborview. That's where my heart was.
Is it because
And
of the professionalism?
no, it's because of Jeremy and you. Because
Uh,
Jeremy and you send my boyhood club to Major League, which is Olympic Gardens.
yeah.
Yeah, one free kick, and like that day, that free kick he scored it at clean clean. So
Yeah.
as a you growing up, I'm like, yo, for somebody to come to somebody else's home and do something like that, you have to be special.
Yeah.
They ended up escorting Jeremy and you out of clean clean.
I know. I know how it is. I know it is to be a top baller, coming from the away team to play at clean, close pitch, tight knit. The fans are right there. You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
I want to you call someone named that who is very important, within the space of your career. King Earl, Vincent Earl. Not King Earl from Arnett Garden people,
Yeah,
but King
man. Yeah,
Earl
man.
from Waterhouse, Vincent. You
Tune in.
said that, yeah, you said the two most probably more potential player that have ever played with you, best players that you have ever played with it. Jerry, which is
And
you,
Vincent,
and
yeah.
also Vincent. So Vincent, how was that like, knowing that you're playing for Juiceland, Firehouse, and Vincent is within that space as well? Was that a dream come true?
It was a dream come true. I don't want to go in this long story, but
Yeah.
Vincent Earl used to go to Russell Primary, and I used to go to DuPont Primary,
Okay.
right? And up my first year playing Primary League, I went to play Russell Primary as a youth.
and everybody in the school I call out Junie.
Mm,
Everybody. So from then, like that name, like stuck in my head,
yeah,
right? So I like one of my dreams was to always, want to play with Junie, right? So eventually, when that opportunity presented itself, it was a dream come true, but the dream was short lived. And a part of it is having lost my mentor and my idol, which is
Peter.
Cargill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it affected me big time. But yeah, yeah, man, it's a joy
So
playing with Junior, man.
yeah, the real glory days started now when you're playing for Stars after He's, the Premier League titles, the CFU as well. How was that, your first couple of seasons, and look, all the trophies just start to pile up in, Reggae Boy call up, start to forward in as well. You're playing with Jerry, a man that you said scored the free kick at Kling Kling, send Olympic Garden to Bush League. Look, one of the most, I think probably Harbour is one of the most modern club in the Jamaican Premier League that bring professionalism around the football. So what was that, man? Joining Harbour.
Going to Harborview is like you're going back to school. Yeah, when I went to Harborview, they had a method of teaching that like I didn't experience throughout my youthful days playing the game, and it took me, I would say probably like 3 4 months in order to adapt. But for me, I was usually I always a coachable player, right? If you give me the instruction, I'll carry it out.
Yeah.
If the instruction that you're giving me, when I'm carrying it out, it doesn't make any sense, then I'll go back to my old self and figure things out myself, right? But having a coach like um, Donovan Ailes at the time, Donovan Ailes is an easygoing man. Like when I say easygoing, he give you the instruction, give you the information. It's just you now to carry it out on the day. And he
Yeah.
barely coaches on game days. On game days, he barely coaches. All he does is just manage,
Mm.
right? But going to Harborview, man, like my first year when I went to Harborview, there wasn't Jeremy and you. There was Loxley Thomas. We had um we had Gregory Simpson,
Yeah.
Greg Taylor, Jeremy and Taylor, right? We have Lovell
Lovell was he
Palmer,
was up at that
Lovell
team.
Palmer, yeah, man, Lovell Palmer, and then we had who was there at the time as well. Anyways, I can't remember everyone, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was a
Senior
very
was there
good.
as well.
Who?
Senior or is after.
No, he came after. He came after.
Okay.
He came
Okay.
after. But the environment was a very good environment. We ended up my first year. We ended up losing the league to Waterhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The media kind of like the media played DV like wicked.
Yeah.
When we're leading by I think like 13 or 15 points or something like that, and then they went to his house to do an interview, and they bait him into saying all fruits ripe. Yeah, yeah, man. I remember that day, man.
I think that is Waterhouse last title.
Probably,
I think that is
probably.
Waterhouse last title that they ever won. They went so many finals with Fuzzy and didn't accomplish anything. So I think that was their last final if you ask me. But I want you to talk about something that was really frequent going on during that time. Houston Dynamo, you went there for trial. You had preseason, I think. Jermaine Taylor was there, a friend of you. Lovell Palmer was there as well. Those players were under contract, right?
Not Jermaine Taylor. Lovell Palmer was under contract.
So, so Jermaine Taylor was there and trial with you as well,
Yeah, Jermaine Taylor was there, and Javon Watson.
and Aka was there as well.
Aka was there. Yeah.
So you were and the coach really like you. You talk about to dive into tackle when you need it, and that smartness in the midfield, the smart enough knowing how to break the challenge, and you came back. And what happened with that? I remember Clive Jordine said he accept. Partially of agreement was there with the club, but what happened with that space between Uslan and Arborview?
You know, Nicardo, up to this day, I would love to know what happened.
But
I
Klein
still,
Juridini said, yeah, there's something accept, with both parties.
I mean, okay, so at the time, we like as players back home, we weren't privy to a lot of information. So back then, the things that I know now, I wish I knew then, right? Or else a situation like that, I would have never allowed the club, which is our view, I would never allow the club to do the negotiation process for me. You understand? So that's what happened. The club was liaison. They were liaisoning with an agency called Stella
Yeah,
Agency. Um, and through their communication, honestly, like I don't know the full details, but what I do know is that I ended up having a contract in my hand as well.
yeah.
So I also had a contract in my hand that I signed and then a week later everything went up to smoke, went into the air.
Wow.
But you can imagine how devastated I was at the time,
Yeah, that
because
was the right move at that time to get you out of the country. I
listen,
think that MLS move that done your career well.
listen, the player who they brought me in to replace eventually went on to I think he ended up playing 100 times for the U.S. national team. Jeff
Wow.
Cameron.
Jeff
Yeah, Jeff
Cameron.
Cameron. Yeah,
Oh, it
because
was Cameron.
yeah, he ended up playing for Stoke City as well.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so when I went there, um, he was just coming back from an ACL surgery, so he was doing his rehab and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When I went to the club, Lovell was the one that was playing in the six, but
Oh,
the coach like came to Caribbean Cup, and after I think the first game we played either Grenada, one of those two teams. I wasn't in the starting lineup
for
yet.
the Antigua. I think it was Antigua, something like that.
Antigua, one
One
of
of
them,
them.
like yeah, one
Yeah,
of
I
them
think
three.
Antigua.
Yeah, I was in the starting lineup. I was playing Rondo and stuff, and Omar Cummins pulled up in the warm up. That's how I ended up playing the first game. Yo, put on a show in a midfield, man.
Yeah.
After the first game, the coach came to the hotel, asked Lovell if he can speak to me, had the conversation, said he enjoy watching, how I play and blah blah blah. If I can continue this process throughout the rest of the tournament, for sure, he would love to take a closer look at me. Listen, man. By the time, by the time, by the time I finish with that tournament, I started
Yeah.
every game. So from being on the bench to now become a pivotal part of that championship run was massive for my career, and
Yeah.
it was massive, in the sense that the reward that came at the end for me to go to a trial stint with such a massive club.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it gave me hope, like lots of hope. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, viewers, so that was the Digital Caribbean Cup. That was it in Martinique or Guadeloupe? Was it in Martinique?
I think
I think it was in Martinique.
Martinique,
I think
Martinique. Yeah.
so that was it. That was Tapa Whitmore was a coach of that as well. I read something where Tapa wanted you to play like one of his former teammates, Peter Cargill, as you said, in a mentor and idol. What was that conversation having with Tapa? Wanted you to play like that play and try to fit you in that role as well for the national team.
It was seamless. The conversation was seamless. If you tell me exactly what type of player you're looking for, believe me, knowing how me love football and how I'm passionate about football, I've spent hours on top of hours on top of hours watching tapes, like watching that player, that specific player, and look at
Yeah,
the pros and the cons. I went as far as um, getting VCR.
yeah, I
Remember
think yeah,
VCR
yeah, yeah,
before
yeah,
this?
yeah. I heard
This
of it.
is this is before DVD come into the
Yeah,
picture.
I heard of VCR.
I had a bunch of VCR that Max Shaw gave me of Peter
Yeah.
Cargill.
Wow.
And I spent hours on top of hours analyzing games. Yo, Peter Cargill, the man of my show in a different sense.
Wow.
And you
Yeah.
see a lot of people back home in Jamaica say, oh, Peter Cargill only pass side to side. I'm back. He never go forward. But what them not understand is that you see them side to side movement there, it also tire out the opponent, eh? Because every
Yeah.
time you have to move the ball from
You
one
move
side
the
to the
shift.
next,
Shift.
it
Yeah.
shift, it chip. But our people them think so them passionate about the game and that is enough. And lack of understanding about the game, that's where our people, fall short. You
Yeah.
know?
Rudolph Fasting was a part of that team, and Jason Morrison.
Um yes. Yes, yes, yes,
And as
yes,
a
yes.
youngster, you managed to break through in that Caribbean Cup as well. So viewers, I remember, looking around at that Caribbean Cup, and Sharpman was one of those youngsters with so many experienced players. He's not one of just the only player that was inexperienced, but quite a few. Marvin Morgan, I think, was a part of
He
that
was the
setup as well.
youngest. He was the
He, you
youngest player.
and I think he was going to St. George's. I just finished
Yeah.
playing Manning Cup at that time.
Him and
And I
O'Neill
think
Fisher.
I didn't remember Oni Fisher, but I remember, Marvin Morgan, and that goal that he scored as well in the tournament was magnificent. You know, I remember the first time seeing Marvin Morgan at Youth 15 when Hardware was the coach at the Youth 15 team at that time for Boyz. And I was 13. I was like, no, I have never seen such a 15-year-old so dominant on the football. He's strong. You cannot get Marvin Morgan off his football. So just to see where his career moved from then until now, it's like that player should have at least get an opportunity to play at the highest level. What was that talent like, training day in and day out with him?
I personally think the thing that kind of killed Marvin career is having proper guidance. You know what I say? With such talent, you need positive influences around you. Kaim Dixon is pretty similar to Marvin. Kaim Dixon's situation is similar to Marvin's situation. Marvin Morgan Sr. used to play for Boyz.
Yeah,
Kaim Dixon's father used to play for Boyz as well. The difference with Kaim Dixon and Marvin Morgan, if you notice now, Kaim Dixon's agent is in control.
yeah,
He's a very good friend of mine as well.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
That's a piece that was missing from Marvin Morgan's journey. He wasn't. My humble opinion, he wasn't humble enough. When the
yeah. A lot of
spotlight,
people say
when the
that. Yeah,
spotlight come, when the spotlight come, he did not know how to manage it. And when you're that young and you're getting so much praise, and you know what I mean, there's a fine line of being confident and being overconfident. You can be overconfident and you can be cocky as well, but he was a bit of both.
yeah.
You know what I mean? If he was, I would say
Yeah,
confident
yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah,
have a little
yeah,
swag with
yeah.
it,
Just
then
over
you
the
would
edge a little
understand.
bit. Yeah, sometimes he's
Yeah,
over the edge a little bit.
yeah.
But the semi-final in the Digital Caribbean Cup versus Grenada, you played. I don't remember if you was if it was a teammate with him, Anthony Modest. But that game, the semi-final, was probably one of the best game you played in that tournament. I think that went into extra time as well.
Yeah.
Talk me through that game as well, because Grenada, I don't know, for some reason, they just always give us that little fight. And I think we played them sometime in the Gold Cup as well, the other year after that. So that game, talk me through that game of how, you managed to, dictate that game from, the number 6 position and help the Reggae Boy to get into the final versus Guadeloupe and playing alongside of playing up against, Anthony Modest, a player that used to play for Portmore. Let me know what, your takes around at that time.
When you're playing in an environment and there's trust, it's easy because if you make a mistake, the next man beside you have your back, right? That team, we were in camp, I think, for 3 years, if my memory serves me right, for 3 years, and every single day, every time we assemble in camp, there's only one thing we always talk about as a group. Yo, I can't wait to get my opportunity to get a contract.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, that was the mantra. That was the mantra. I can't wait to get a chance to get a contract. A part of that group was Navian Boyd,
yeah,
Kemar Daly, um, say Marvin Morgan,
yeah,
Javon Watson, Lovell, um, so Jeremy and Taylor, right? All of the man them we get, you know, the opportunity to play for the national team in that tournament. I think 90% of us eventually leave that tournament getting an opportunity to go
yeah,
showcase ourselves. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it was easy. It was easy.
yeah,
The bond that we built over that 3 year period, that was the what do you call that? That was the strength within the group. Yeah,
yeah,
trust. Just
yeah,
one word. We trusted each other. Yeah.
yeah. I want to talk a little bit more of something about your career, a little bit of controversial. You left Harborview, went to Portmore, and came back in not even half of the season gone, and you forward back as what really going?
Yo, we're
And
not gonna
yeah,
talk
say
about that. You know. Yo, we're not gonna talk about that.
and yeah, say yo, and because anybody I get the game, yeah, say I want one thing. Yeah, say yo, it's all about is feel welcome, bro. Move from Aberfree to Portmore them time. They war. What you do?
I mean, put it that way,
Yo,
yeah. There was a lot of interest. Um, there was a lot of interest in especially Norway,
yeah,
right? Because a lot of the players we were moving to Norway at the
yeah.
time,
Big I was over
right?
there as well.
Yeah, so big Fabian Taylor, then Kevin Bryan went there,
Yeah, Calvin
and then you
Ryan.
have Luton was there as well.
Was Jason
Allison,
Morris in Scandinavia as well?
Jason Morrison, Demar
Yeah,
Phillips was there as
yeah,
well. Demar Phillips and Jason Morrison played for Allison. Luton was at Luton was at which club again? Anyways, Luton was there as
yeah,
well. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of interest there. You see the club now, Stromgunset,
yeah.
they had interest in me coming over. So Portmore was going to Norway at the time, right?
No, see why what go on.
Yeah, yeah. Portmore was going to Norway at the time, and just had the conversation with the boss himself, and kind of like get get some idea
Yeah,
or some
yeah,
hint that there
yeah,
was interest and stuff. But when we go training, honestly, we never feel yeah
yeah,
welcome. We never
yeah.
feel
As
welcome.
you say, you never feel.
You
You
know.
don't see that cause a upstir in the Jamaican Premier League space at that time. A lot of people
Yeah, man.
eyebrow raised like, what sharp man I left arm of you in the
Yeah,
most
man.
successful period I got Portmore. But you see that back then them time there, the story of not everybody really, be
And
knowing
the
of what's
privy.
going on. Yeah,
Hmm.
to the story of that time. I mean, but Caribbean Cup finish, everything finished. The Houston Dynamo deal, fall through. You just said that, Norway deal, fall through. Finland, that's when the Finland, how like managed to go all the way up. Not. What was that experience like?
Yo, how me end up in Finland? I just frustration. With the Houston Dynamo thing, fell through. I just like I was playing in the league, but I still I was I felt like a shell. I was
Yeah,
still playing, but I wasn't being myself. I was cheating myself, being out on the field, and I wasn't giving my brothers like my full ability to play. Right. So I
yeah,
said, you know what? I'm gonna walk away. Right. And by stepping away, I just needed time for myself. You
yeah,
see, the stuff that I
yeah.
know now, I can explain what I was going through.
Mm,
I was going through depression at the time. You understand? Not being able to, finalizing that Houston deal. I was
yeah,
depressed. I was depressed. But I didn't know what I was going through because I couldn't explain it. It wasn't a thing at the time. You get what I'm saying? So Dwayne Miller, which is a
doing Miller.
good friend, yeah, good friend of mine. He lined up something with, one of his agents, and he brought me over to Sweden. So I went to Sweden and stayed there for 6 months before I went to Finland.
Wow.
Yeah, I was training with Asiriska for 6 months before I went to Finland.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
So many players went to Scandinavia at the time.
Yeah, man. So when I went to Finland, I played for a club called Mikali Palailijat.
Yeah.
It's one of the most like historic club within
Yeah.
the Finnish soccer environment. But going there, I mean, I enjoyed myself. They wanted to offer me a 3-year deal, but at
The
that
cool.
time when I look at it, no, forget about the call. Me not care. Them
All
could have
right.
bring them could them could have bring me go play in a lab. I'm ready for play.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The thing about that deal, when I did the calculation in terms of like, living in Finland and still having to take care of my kids back in Jamaica, it didn't make any sense.
Um.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
financially, it didn't make any financial sense, right? So I said, you know what, might as well I go back home, play for, another year and see what can happen. Again, not having the knowledge of understanding that waiting one more year,
Yeah.
that's one more year older where nobody knows what's going on with you because you're not relevant, right? So
Yeah.
by losing that year, went back home. And then when I went back home, I think John Barnes was the coach at the time, and he called me into camp. Was doing great. John Barnes was actually setting up something for me to go to England, and yeah, and then boom, the midst of all the excitement, because like he was enjoying working with me, right? In the
Yeah.
midst of the excitement, we're gonna play Panama, and in the team meeting, John Barnes tell me, say, "Yo, gentlemen, this is my last game."
We know what happened between Burrell and Canvans at that time. Who know what happened down that time?
Yo, yo, yeah, man, it's like, yo, deja vu. I'm like, here I am
another deal
again.
collapse.
Yeah,
Another deal collapse.
here I am again.
I think
I am
I
again.
think
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We are
Hold
here now.
on, hold on.
So, viewers, we don't know Richard Sharpman once or saw like, so many deals collapse during his time. Some of them me never did know about it. You understand? And some me hear about it as well. You understand? So I mean, it's just one of them things about, him still having a successful career, still being around in the game as well. You know? Yeah. So we don't know how
You hear me
so many
now?
deal collapse, within you,
No,
man.
you
But
not
you
hear
still
me?
had managed to, yeah, I'm here, I hear. You still
Still
managed to
hear me?
have a
Oh
very
dear.
successful, career,
Okay,
coaching and all of that. Yeah,
I'm back
so
now. I'm
John
back
Barnes,
now.
Panama game say leaving last game Jenks. Who know the story between Captain and John Barnes at that time. But what happened, man? You want to disclose that
Yo,
team?
honestly, I mean, yo, that team I think was one of the strongest Jamaican team that assembled as well. Because at the time, no, my cell phone charger, please. Yeah, we had Claude Davis, Stu Pease,
Mm-hmm.
same Austin, same
Yeah. Was
Austin,
Ryan Johnson a part of that side as well?
Ryan Johnson as well, Lovell Palmer.
Yeah. With Lamar
Um,
Phillips and them
yeah,
play the
man.
Ricketts and the
All
Ricketts
of,
and them play. Yeah.
yeah, Devon Adges. You remember when Devon Adges
Yeah.
was hot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Devon Adges was a striker as well. I think he scored 2 goals in that Panama game. Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha. I don't know. But what
yo,
the you were in a Gold Cup because 2011 we played in a Gold Cup, but 2013 we missed the Gold Cup because we failed in the Caribbean Cup. But that experience of you in around the Gold Cup squad at that time, 2011, US beat us in the quarterfinal. We tapped the zone as well. We flew through that zone. What happened with you of the game time, limited game time in that tournament? I
Yo,
don't know.
you know what's funny? This morning I literally sent a goal that Omar Daly scored
Yeah.
in that
Was
Gold
that
Cup.
that time he was playing for Motherwell at that time too?
Motherwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was playing for Motherwell at the time. Aka is the one that laid off that ball for him and he
Yeah.
scored. I literally sent that goal to a good friend of mine this morning.
Yeah.
Just yeah, man, because we were talking about the game and stuff, and he's saying like there's not a lot of creativity going on in the game right now, and he was explaining a situation to me, and I sent him that video.
Yeah.
Um, I for me the playing time, um, I'm not a sore loser. I'm not someone who begs. Put it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I like everything I have. I work hard for it, right? And I try to earn everything that I've got. At the time, do I think I should get minutes? 1,000,000%. I even think I should have started a lot of the games, but the coach making decision, you just have to live with it and move on with your life, right?
But that's less than probably around a year. You just had a really good Caribbean Cup.
As a matter of fact, I was a major part of the success of
Yeah, of
that
course.
team.
You was one
Mhm.
of you was very, very critical to that 2-1 win
Yeah,
versus Grenada.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember I watched that game.
yeah.
And then 2011, it's like you just barely could scratch a minute on
Me not
the
play.
sheet.
I
No,
was
I know you barely could
yeah.
have like scratch. You didn't play.
I was the only player that didn't get any minute.
Some personal stuff, coach. I
You
don't
get
know,
me?
man. But
But top of my general still. What am I gonna do?
yeah, man. Yeah, man. I don't know. Some
Yeah,
endeavor go on. Some endeavor.
can't hold no grudges. You
Mm,
just have to move on with your life, especially now when you're up on the other side of the fence and you know how the coaching spectrum work.
yeah.
Um,
But
mind you, I don't know
that me
the
true.
magnitude of it at
The
that
Gold
level.
Cup though, that Gold Cup though. I mean, I remember as a youngster at that time, we just about to go play the U17 World Cup in Mexico. I was slightly apart with some squad that name some local squad that need to get in preparation for that under 17 World Cup in Mexico. I remember that World Cup very well, but that much you like the 3 games that we won. We flew through the zone. Here comes America. The confidence must was riding high in the dressing room at that time that we can get the best of the US men's national team, but we feel short in that game, and we pack our bags coming back home.
Listen, you ever hear the saying? Hold on, phone on charge. Hold on. You ever hear the saying that goes by, God no likes the ugly?
Yeah.
It's a situation like that, man. That are the only conclusion we can come with because we've played since I've been with that specific group.
Yeah.
We've played some of the best football.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, we've played some of the best football in that tournament. But to see the end of that journey and the manner in which it happened, yeah, you can only say it's just the power that be. The
Yeah.
power that be is the
Yeah.
one that decide that listen, enough is enough, and everybody just need to get on with them life after this.
Yeah, and then
Mm.
the system, the whole squad just gone down the hill. We didn't even qualify for the next Gold Cup, and then boom, Schaefer forwarding final, Tapa again final. So we went through a little dry spell there as well. But want to move on a little bit away from what you did as a national player. Touch of class. How did that come about, and what are the moment that your significant have played of organizing such a powerful academy in Canada?
Yo, me as a man, everything we do, we try be precise, right? And whatever it is that I do, I'm intentional, quite intentional with my approach to anything. Um, when I was playing, my wife, you know, she always at like every game. Since I migrated to Canada, I can't tell whenever I played, if she had like ever missed a game. But anyways, after a game, she came up to me and said, after football, what's next? So I said, to be honest, we never think about it. We never
Yeah.
think about it. We never
No
think
player
about
really
it.
did until someone
Yeah,
asked him that question.
yeah, we never think about it. So when she said after football, what's next? I said to her, I don't know. She said, you ever thought of becoming a coach? I said, listen, the coaching thing, forget about it, because me as a man, me can't deal with disrespect. You get me? I say, because I try to be a respectful person. I try to respect everybody. It no matter who you be, you could have been the garbage collector, or the man who wipe the car glass, or a man who a millionaire. Me I treat you the same way. Right?
Yeah.
Anyways, we there home one night. I was sitting on a talk and she said, "What you say? Are you a coach this team? That was the
Was that the
semi-professional team, Yorkies
Yark?
and Shooters.
Yark
Yeah,
and Shooters, yeah.
yeah. So she said, "What you say? Are you a coach the team? Are you a coach the team? The only difference is the coach up on the sideline and you up on the
You
field."
know,
So when she said that to me, I slick, she slick, slick, she slick. Because while saying that, she already signed me up to do a course,
mm,
but I didn't know. So, anyways, after the conversation, she sent me an email with the confirmation that I must show up at specific address, whatever, whatever.
yeah.
Anyways, we never see the email. And 2 days later, she said, "You check your email?" I said, "No." She said, "Check your email." Anyways, I check my email and I see the confirmation and whatever. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I show up at the first course and there's a history.
Jaja.
There's a history. The first course I show up at, this is the stuff where as players we take for granted.
Yeah.
And them things that me I see on my screen.
Wow.
Small details. The game is about you being organized, like have a good understanding of structure, make sure say if you're going on a session, try to have the outcome. And
Yeah.
even if the players don't meet the outcome, that's a good avenue where you can assess, analyze, reflect, and have a good understanding of, okay, how you can approach the session the next day. Yeah, and then me enroll myself in a program that I was a volunteer, right? And then going into the program, I never have the confidence. Of course, we have the experience from playing days, but from a coaching perspective, never have no confidence, right? But when I watch the other coaches are coach, in my mind, me I say, but this not make no sense. This not make no sense. The players them just a pass sake.
Yeah.
That a out touch a class come about.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
From one player, few months after you start to have 20 plus player, did the one player, give you that satisfaction of, yeah, I can move forward and try to gain more bodies to to coach these kids, are that demotivate, like, yo, it's just hard, man.
I would have said them give me the motivation or demotivated me. What I do know is that I was intentional with my approach. And
Mm,
I had a conversation with, one of my friends at the time when I had the one player. And there's one message he gave me, and up to this day I still live by that mantra. He said the one thing about Canadians, they like proven. So if
mm,
if you're dealing with anything, just make sure you have a base behind you. So from the one player to the 25 players to working with, I think right by now, I think I reach 1,000 players.
and that's a
Yeah,
big achievement.
yeah, man.
What are some of the achievements though, in terms of individual for players, moving forward with their career?
So one of the top 2008 players right now, who's Canadian,
Yeah,
is playing for Feyenoord in Holland.
yeah,
He's also playing for the Canadian national team, U17, U15. He's actually going to the World Cup in November. Well, they wanted me to come as well, but away the pros and the cons, right?
yeah,
It would be nice to go and go support. Um, so that's KJ. Then you have Dimitri Adamson, TFC. Just recently got called to the Canadian national U17 team as well. You have Edwin, who I've worked with. You have KJ, which is another player that went to Forge, um, played at Forge, played for Canada national team as well. Went on multiple tryouts with um, Monaco, Genk, Eintracht Frankfurt, Schalke. Nothing materialized yet. Multiple other players that's
yeah.
also representing, Toronto FC and also play for the national team. And you have like multiple kids that gain scholarship. That again, nobody gave them a chance until like I started working with them. Yeah, multiple kids
Any
who
Jamaican kids a part of that?
I think out of those set of players that I mentioned, 80% of them they have Jamaican background.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
so in sometime in the future they can actually switch and power over and play for which
Forget about the future. They're fully active now. If Jamaica come calling them ready. Yeah, 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 yeah.
man, such a powerful, academy, such a very good program that you have up there, in Canada, man. But hopefully, sometime as we reason, behind the scene, hopefully sometime we can have some, not maybe personally, might not be you, but we have a lot of individuals, players that past players for the Reggae Boys doing a fantastic job somewhere around the globe. Hopefully, we can have, some of you guys to come and represent in the coaching department as well. Because when we look on the Panamanian team, Honduras, Costa Rica. They have so many different past players, in the coaching staff, preparing the national team, passing down that experience, giving the knowledge of those players that look, it's not easy in CONCACAF, showing them the way, let them know about the away days in CONCACAF, let them know of this, the Central American derby. We don't really have much of that during, in our system. You understand? So really appreciate you. It's a master job with you and your significant half of creating such a very good platform, not just for yourself, but to give kids opportunities. You understand what really needed, and thumbs up to you as well. But I want to talk about Guadeloupe, Bermuda, and Trinidad. No, but Bermuda, Trinidad, and Curacao. Sharpman, we'll never get an easier pathway than this to qualify for the. You have ever seen anything like this before in your playing days of having Bermuda, Trinidad, and Curacao to tap that zone and go to the World Cup?
I think this is on paper, this is the easiest opportunity we've ever had of qualifying for a World Cup. Um, right now, the current squad, they have no excuse.
Yeah,
They have no excuse, absolutely none. What you tell me, what could be their excuse right now with one, the coaching staff and the
yeah,
experience that the coaching staff have.
yeah,
Two, the level of players that we currently have assembled in the national team. Every man I play like professional football right now in terms
yes,
of like playing for top clubs. I
yes.
think the only two players right now in the national setup at the World Cup is Warner Brown, Richard King. I don't know if Dwayne Atkinson is a part of the
Do it
World Cup squad.
and Shaquan Davis from Mount Pleasant. So I just probably like a four of them.
Four,
Yeah.
four. But out of that four there, I mean Warner Brown and Richard King, them hungry.
And both of them get exposed to European football already.
There you go. But Warner Brown, yeah man, I'm a baller that man without him
Yeah,
knowing. Yeah man, I'm
yeah,
a baller without him knowing, man. I like him. I like him poisonous.
yeah,
Like in and around the 18-yard box. Him just remind me of Kaib Dixon. The two of them play similar. Them hungry.
yeah, yeah,
And those are the people we want to be a part of the national setup. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Well, That's from my
From your
viewpoint.
point of view, yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the stuff that really needs to get done internally, administration, coaching, and players in order to get over this line in terms of World Cup battles? Because you said it's on paper, it should be straight up qualification, but we know go down to Trinidad, that's a rival.
Yeah,
They
man.
they're going to fill that stadium right up to the brim. Curacao, that little small knit pitch, the AstroTurf. You ever have played in Curacao before?
I played in Curacao before, yes.
Oh, how is it? It's very difficult. I know they having so many European players that's playing for top clubs in that setup. So, what are some of the stuff that really needs to get done around the team internally, so that these boys can be prepared and go to that next level? So next summer we can actually watch our team at the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah. The major one, the major one is what always be the hindrance in
Yeah,
our national team having success and not having success is money.
yeah,
We need to separate that
yeah,
from the football. If there is negotiation that needs to happen, make sure it happens before we get to the game. Make sure it happens like months in advance. So if the players need to sign their contract, the administrative staff, they just need to like hold themselves accountable for what the players signed off on and what they agreed to. You get what I'm saying? So don't come on a game day or the night before game day and have players talking about money. Because usually that's one of the biggest issue with our
yeah.
national team. And I'm talking about right across the age group. Right?
Yes,
It's always either 2 days before or the day before, and it almost like becomes cliche. It seems like we don't want to qualify, so we're finding a reason not to qualify. And it's
yeah.
always the same reason that hinder us from qualifying. Now, World Cup I come in North America, and me I tell you now, from now, would I love to start buy my ticket
Buy a
still.
ticket exactly,
Yeah,
because
yeah, but I love
I
to
think
buy
I
my
think
ticket.
I think at December the draw start. I think at December will be the draw. So would I love to make sure that everyone, the diaspora is powerful, because
That's it.
I came to Canada when we beat Canada at BMO Field, and that field, the stadium filled with, you were there,
Jamaican. Yep,
the
with Jamaicans.
Jamaicans,
Yep.
Jamaican. When we realized how much Jamaican in stadium, when Bobby Reed kicked the penalty kick, and then when Bowser score, I'm like, no,
Yeah,
this is
man.
so many Jamaicans in the stadium.
Yo,
You know,
Half of Toronto, like put it Ontario, because Ontario is a massive province. But
yeah,
between Ottawa coming all the way to I would say Oakville area, Mississauga, Oakville area,
yeah,
90% of the diaspora that is in Canada is
yeah.
within that radius.
Wow.
Hmm.
So I mean, Sharp, man, we just have finger crossed. Hopefully, the man them and the administration and the coaching staff can get the job done. Because me and you and other people out there want to start by ticket. You understand? But the Gold Cup with Panama, Guatemala, and Guadeloupe, we're going to play, Guatemala tomorrow again, back to back. And a coaching perspective, how difficult it is to play a team back to back in two different tournaments.
It's not difficult. It's not difficult, especially the fact that you played them before, and you have a very good understanding of what they're capable of. And when you do the analysis, you will look at pros and cons. We call it SWOT, strength, weakness, offensive threat, right? When you look at that, you will understand the habits that the Guatemalan players have, and you
Yeah,
look at how we can capitalize on their weakness. Because when I watched the game the other night, there was the Jamaican players have so much time on the ball. They had so much space. Hence, that's why a player like Leon Bailey, people could say that's his best performance in the national colors.
Jamaicans.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's his best performance in the national colors. But outside of that, having that game, yeah, on the back of us, I think we're supposed to be a little bit more confident,
yeah,
and we're supposed to be a little bit more trust, because you know one of the biggest situation with Jamaican players is that when the British players comes,
Yeah.
like we always tend to find a way to separate the British,
Why?
separate the Jamaican.
Why?
I just human nature, just human psychology.
Mm.
Now it seems to me that like these new players that
Yeah.
come into the system, it looks like they become a little bit more adaptable to what to expect from a
Yeah.
Jamaican perspective. It's not like their club where it's you know professional and everything is first class. Now they accept what it is that Jamaica has to offer, right? So
Yeah.
it looks like they're a little bit more open minded. Hence why the national team and the players look like there's a certain cohesion there. It
Yeah.
look like they're more tight knitted now than ever before. And that's what we want. It don't matter if a man come from round the back of God. As long as him have Jamaican roots and him can
Yeah.
represent the national team, him a
Yeah.
Jamaican. You
Wow.
can't
Yeah.
change that. You
Yeah.
can't change
Cannot
that.
change that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I know like the build up for going into a major tournament in this region, like the Gold Cup. Usually in the month of May, Central American teams usually have their preseason camp because you have the Clausura and the Apertura, and most of the Central American teams mostly based locally, and you think that the Unity Cup, by playing those two games, the Trinidad game and the Nigeria, did that give the coach a sense of what really need to get done with this squad, and it's a good look to preseason tournament to get into the game versus BVI and Guatemala and help us to get the preparation ahead in for the Gold Cup, because Honduras, Nicaragua, and all those teams have been training since mid-March because
Mm-hmm.
their season ended,
And
and they managed can get like 80 to 90% of their players because they are playing locally, or if not locally, they are playing somewhere in the Americas region. You think that Unity Cup did us really good to help us prepare for the Gold Cup?
it was positive for a lot of the players who were able to play in those games. Again, the Guatemala game, you see how beautiful it is when there's trust within the mix.
Yeah,
It's the first in a long time since we've had any coach assembled a national team with so many foreigners. And when I say foreigners, I'm talking about players who are playing abroad.
abroad. Yeah,
Because you don't have a bunch of local players within the squad. I'm just talking about the players
yeah,
being
yeah,
assembled. Possess the football so much. You see patience. You see players take risk. You see players willing to take on people 1v1. You see players having a sense of belonging, especially when we're out of possession. You see the hunger for try get back the ball, eye up the pitch. You tell me, when was the last time you saw any national team played like that?
it's been a while. I saw one game with Paul All. I remember we played a game in the Copa America versus Uruguay with Schaefer. We see something like that as well. I think we kind of outplayed them in terms of more touches on the football, higher percentage, more passes, so it happened, but it's back then. You understand?
There's
you
no
know,
consistency.
yeah,
There's no consistency.
there's no consistency. Yeah,
Okay, so hold on. So it's safe to say, that right now it's obvious that the national team, the senior team, we're not talking about right across the board.
yeah,
There's a methodology in place. There's a method of teaching in place, and the coach have a vision in terms of how we want the game to be played.
yeah,
Yeah, it's safe to say that,
yeah,
because I know one game I see it. That's what
yeah,
I said that. Okay, I see it in a
yeah,
Nigeria game, I see it
yeah,
against Trinidad, see it
yeah,
against BVI, and now I see it against Guatemala. So
yeah,
tomorrow, may I expect to see the same.
yeah.
Anything less than that, yo, maybe the coach have to go still.
Even that's rich. He said,
Yeah,
but
man.
um, growing up, as a youth in the early 2000s, hear about Central American teams. I grew up hearing about the Honduran team that was assembled in the 90s. I think they were the first Central American team that went to the World Cup final. Now we have one of the best team in our zone in Central America, the Panamanian under the Thomas Christiansen, and again the Guatemala. But what's your expectation for this tournament, knowing that after this finish, a month after will be the World Cup qualifier? But should we take this serious and go for the kill.
Yeah, man, we have to take every game we play serious, every single game serious, because um on the broader scale, we have so many players. If you look at the national team setup, like players who didn't make the cut for
Yeah,
this World Cup, you have Bowser, you have Trevante Stewart, who scored I think 20 something goal in the league when I play now. You have um Norman Campbell, who still didn't
yeah,
make this cut,
still, yeah.
right? You have other players. Ravel Morrison
Didn't even make the
just came,
60.
just came
Didn't even make the 60.
you get me? So
Yeah,
I mean, the pool is big. The pool is big. So I just think, anything where the national team is concerned and there's a cup, yeah, there's a cup for us to grab. We
yeah,
grab it, man. Grab it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
man. We
think,
got challenge
yeah,
street. Yeah, man.
yeah.
As long as there's something up for grabs, a silverware, we need to go for it.
Yeah, and I do feel like when we went to the Gold Cup with Schaefer for the first time and then Tapa, I didn't think that squad have the depth of
Mm,
quality and
mm.
the depth of players playing at
Players.
a higher level that's sitting on the bench because we have Dixon who's learning his education at one of the best academy system in League One football, Charlton. We have Cephas, who have been around, played qualification in Champions League, Europa Conference. You understand? So we have so many different, qualities and potential of playing around the world that look, the coach, him not have no excuse at this time to achieve. And I do feel like I said this on a video this morning that one of our best pathway is to tap the zone because if we tap the zone, we will play the runner up in the Canadian zone. Look, Curacao, Honduras, and El Salvador, Canada must tap that zone with ease with the squad that they have, with the coach that they have, the talent that they have. So
On
I think,
paper.
yeah,
On
pan
paper.
paper.
On paper. On
No, but pan
paper.
paper, you understand?
Yeah.
But did you know that, Richie? We from 93 until now, the last World Cup 2023. Remove when we beat US 2015, Mexico 2017. No other club outside of Mexico and US have ever knocked us out of the World Cup. Never. So what are the struggles that that breaker, deal breaker that we need to get over line at knowing that look, Mexico and US, they are, they should be beatable, and we got opportunities where I think it was 2021 when I think we lost 1-0 in that quarter final. I think Mattia Happe score and jump over O'Neill Fisher at our Alva spoil. But what are the deal breaker of not getting ahead of the US and Mexico, that knowing that no other team have ever knocked us out of the Gold Cup knockout round?
I think it's a psychological thing. Um, yeah, it's a psychological thing. Growing up, we ever hear about, the powerhouse like US, Mexico, the Panama team, and then, Canada now start to rise and stuff like that. Psychologically, of course, that hampers you. That weigh down on you when you constantly hear about powerhouse this and powerhouse that. Not hearing, we're Jamaicans and we're capable of doing this. You know
Yeah,
what I say? Yeah, we not hear enough of like us praising each other, right? And I want to leave this message as well too. I hope a lot of Jamaicans listening to your platform or on your platform. It's time for us to start embracing our own,
yeah,
yeah, and stop embrace others. I'm not saying not to do it, but just embrace, just give our own people look. Just give a look of grace, man.
yeah,
Give us some grace. I think I was talking to you yesterday, and I was giving you the example, the perfect example. When I used to play, and I got the opportunity to play with Jeremy and you. Jeremy and you was our Messi,
yeah.
but we didn't give him the flowers that he deserved. What we do? Every opportunity we get to try to kill his
Kill
career,
him.
yeah, man, we try to find a way. Even when there's nothing there, we find something to critique instead of praising. You know many different flaws in Messi's game? Lots. How many people here talk about the flaws?
Not much.
Exactly. So why we always tend to do it with our players? Like again, let me give you an example. Cephas. Over the
Yeah.
past 4 games, Cephas has been the player who is the most influential player for us.
Yeah.
And I was listening to Oral Tracy on his YouTube thing the other day. He did like a YouTube thing. And he said, like, he has been in multiple conversations, and the only thing people are trying to find is flaws in a Cephas
Flaws.
game.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only thing. Listen, every player have different things that they need to work on. But as they get older, it becomes more difficult to work on those flaws. So what we have to do, we have to forget about the flaws and start embrace what he brings to the table. He's one of the most frightening player that
Yeah.
Jamaica in this modern era has ever produced. Outside of Luton Shelton, Cephas has been one of the most frightening players Jamaica has ever produced. And remember, that's a local talent, yeah,
Yeah.
that went abroad and slowly adapt to the
Yeah.
European system,
Yeah.
understand the playing style, understand the pros and the cons of playing as a winger, and just look at him now. The man is flying. So why don't we want to just build up the man instead of try to find ways to bring him down, man?
Yeah, yeah, I think people try to find stuff to critique of on the negative side.
Yeah,
You
man.
understand? Yeah, too much, and I think Jerry have went through a lot of that as well. You know,
Brother,
Would you
yo,
say, would
I
you
tell you.
say a player like Jeremy and you and Tyreek Maggie went through the same pathway of a lot of criticism?
I would have put Tyreek Magee in the same context as Jay Steele,
All
brother.
right, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
would have size him up, so close still enough.
I-
Yeah, me, I tell you that, would have size him up so
But
still,
then I
but
hope you didn't say that one there still. But I
yeah,
mean, we
man.
know Jerry,
Not,
a big baller,
not
big
in the same
midfielder.
sentence, brother. Not in the same sentence at all. Yeah, man, Jerry's a different animal, man.
Yeah,
Different
well, I
talent,
know.
brother. Different
Yeah,
talent.
Jerry, such a fantastic player. But Steve McLaren, what you takes on his job that he have done so far?
You have to give credit where credit is due. So far, he has done a fantastic job with the group, right? In terms of attracting so many other British-born players,
Yeah,
British-born Jamaican players.
yeah,
Players. Yeah, I think he's been doing a fantastic job. He's giving local players the opportunity to also excel, and they've embraced the opportunity as well to be called up to the national team. So those are things that we have to look into, and again, just give credit where credit is due. Me sure, there will become time
yeah,
where we have to beat him. We have to go beat him. Yeah,
yeah,
man, we have to beat him. Yeah,
yeah,
because like we're hard people to please. You know
yeah,
what I say? But yeah, when he's doing good, we have to give credit where credit is due. And right now, he's doing a fantastic job. There's there's not a lot of coaches that um, the federation brought in where you
yeah,
can see a clear identity of how we want to play. And I
yeah,
think right now, over the past year, McLaren has showcased the kind of brand football that he's looking for. When you see Damian Lowe now get every ball and ping a long pass, then you know the coach are doing job.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
Yeah, man. When you see him a take out some ball and him telegraph the long pass like the world and everybody knows it, yo, it's a long pass him gonna make, then
Yeah,
you know the coach are doing job.
yeah.
Yeah, man. You see him Damian, you notice me call him name
Dear man, Lord. Yeah,
because he's a youth me deal with regular.
yeah,
When you see him showcase enough patience. I'm not talking about composure because that
yeah, yeah, yeah,
embedded
yeah,
in him. That
yeah,
embedded in him to a default, right? But when you see him, impatient and move the ball from side to side and picking moment when to play long, then you know he might grow as a player as well, and he's becoming more coachable with less ego.
I think that's one of the biggest turnaround of McLaren getting this squad and previous regime and a different coaches. this squad seems more coachable. And
Mhm.
you said something that he's managing the egos within the space of the national team, and that's something good. But if you ask me, can we get more coaching from him, more technical stuff, detailed stuff of break the lines? You say you're not seeing much of that. And for a man that playing in the midfield, we had Speedy Williams, Kevin Lambert, and Joe Latibody have played in that six. Now we saw Isaac Hayden. It's a step up, and it's getting better. It's another level above where those players could bring the national team. You know, what are some of the stuff that you see like Isaac Hayden needs to get done more as a midfielder? And I can tell you one before you go ahead. I think he needs to let his presence more feel around the football than every time when the defender get the ball, Isaac Hayden you see. And when he's get the ball, he's not breaking enough lines and getting the ball towards attacking players. But what's your takes to on Isaac Hayden?
Um, watching, I would say the past 3 games, 4 games, just analyzing just the way how the two Orleans mates play.
Yeah,
I don't think, I personally don't think they're sitting behind the first line of pressure enough. Right, we're playing with a back three, and oftentimes the opposition press with either a front two or them press with just a striker. Right, I've seen I've seen on multiple videos um, that they posted on social media. Right, I don't know the emphasis behind the scene on the whys. I don't know the whys behind the rondos. This is just me.
yeah,
So for me, when I'm coaching, there's a purpose behind everything that I do. Right? So the purpose that I'm talking about when the players are playing rondo, are they preparing themselves to transfer that rondo, yeah, situation in practice into game? Because 90% of the time, the same situation presents itself in the game, right? The difference is in the training session, they will have success, breaking lines, and they'll find the time to laugh at the player who's inside the middle. But in games, there's so much pressure on their shoulder. I'm
yeah.
afraid to do it. But that's when you need to do it.
Mm,
Whether you have success doing it or you're gonna fail, the only way you can learn is through failure, right? But again, when I go sign off, what
yeah,
I'm saying is the players who are playing in the sixth position, they need to stop going towards the center back for the ball and start sit inside the central area
yeah,
into the half spaces and wait for the moment to arrive where the center back can break the first line of pressure so that they can receive the ball to play forward.
yeah. Did you watch the Mexico and Dominica game last night?
No, no, no.
It's Alvarez done that perfectly well last night
Sit in
because
the half space.
yes, because they started out with a 4-4-2 with Raul and Santi play as a number 9, but when they playing out the football, it's like they go to a 3-3-2-2 formation where Edson just chop right in the half space between the defenders and just start to dictate the tempo of the game. We don't really get much of that from Isaac. He's doing the rest of stuff by mapping up the play, intercept and all of that, and he's doing well. I'm not saying he's not doing well, but some of the stuff that needs to upgrade in his game so he can bring the midfield level to a different level. Because when you go to the Honduran middle, they have a very complex middle. Like I think it's Flores and Kevin Arriaga. Those players have done that really well. Panama have Martinez, Carrasquilla, and Godoy. Did that perfectly well, even against us in the Nations League. They're more aggressive in their gameplay. Isaac is a little bit too casual for me. So if we need to go to that next level and play at an elite level as a midfield 3 or a midfield 2, I think they need to start to do exactly what you just said. Leon Bailey, why has it taken so long for him to make the transition of what he have done, last season for Aston Villa? Because we know what Leon Bailey can do. We've seen it at Genk. We saw flashes at Leverkusen, and we saw the real Bailey in not the season just ended, but 23-24 season. Why have it not worked out, fully for Leon Bailey in the national team?
You notice there's less distraction.
Mm,
Yeah, man. when him hot, a pay problem. Yeah, but when him hot, a pay problem, man. When him hot, you see, because like at Villa, since the coach bringing Rashford, you
good eye.
notice, yeah, you realize when him bringing Rashford, him see the feel less.
Yeah,
So now him become more hungry. You get me? I said before him the too comfortable, man. It was Leon Bailey and anything.
yeah,
You get me? I say no, you can still look at it and say it's him and any 10, But him no, can him Dixon the right that's why if him if him no pull for him weight, can him Dixon a wait.
yeah,
Cause look you hungry. You get me? I say so him have to deliver. And that's what national team bring. You get me? I say remember when I play for the club and national team we talk about we assemble the best players that we can ever have at our disposal, right? So him know man, the pressure hot, so him have to bring it. Him have to
yeah,
bring it. Him have
yeah,
to bring it. So that's the reason, in my opinion, and it's good. It's good. It's good for the football. It's good for him. It's good for the coaches. It's good for everybody. Having a fit Leon Bailey who is not facing or dealing with any injuries.
yeah,
Problem. It's frightening for any national team.
yeah. You said something on the phone yesterday about Leon Bailey know how to create moments in half space when two, three defenders on him. But Cephas, if you give him the stretch of yard, he will kill people. How we can maximize that more like when Leon Bailey get on the football, three bodies on him. Because I literally saw it in the stadium when two, three players, counter pressing and spaces in the midfield, spaces in the back line. But again, Leon Bailey tend to make the right decision a little bit too long. And again, the team doesn't play into that weakness of the team, the players
The
leaving
opposition.
spaces. Yeah. How we can, maximize that more like cause it's happening, but we're not use it up enough.
I mean, again, I'm just only basing my comment off of what I've seen so far. When he plays, we need more players making those underlapping runs, right?
Mm,
Because we all know 80% out of 100, Leon now gonna go down to the right. He
yeah.
might go cut inside, right? So to give him that room to cut inside, so that he can have the opportunity to either wrap the ball to the far post or just like how he assists Russell.
Russell, yeah.
Yeah, we need runners. We need players willing enough to sacrifice themselves for the greater good of the team. You get me? I say, if you notice the goal with Russell, Lati Body make an underlapping run and pull two man with him. And so comes Leon Bailey, get isolated 1v1, come inside, and he could have chipped the ball in the box. Right?
And we don't really see that from because he more want Joel to play more as an inverted, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of take away more from what Leon Bailey can produce as well.
But I'm also sure of the fact that from a coaching standpoint, the the analysis team, the department, I'm
Yeah,
sure they're looking into that and they're looking at it as a part of our strength as well. Because in the last game, we've had a lot of success. Because remember, Leon almost scored a beautiful goal with the goalkeeper
yeah,
buffer,
yeah,
and
yeah.
him also assist couple balls him try cross them block couple balls again. The number six of the opposing team recover well enough and force him to play backwards so that we can secure possession. So I mean, it's working. It's working, but we just need a little bit more consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Richard King, a local talent, growing up through the Cavalier system. Saw recent news of him. Maybe they said it's a done deal, but he's waiting for final announcement for him to be a St. Mirren player in the Scottish Premiership. This player, it seems like I think they left him out of the last starting 11 in Guatemala game, and I think Olgate got injured, and he found him way back in the team, and he make a wonderful tackle to save a goal. It's like he cannot do anything wrong at this moment. This player should be starting in the national team alongside Pinnock.
brother, as I say, right now, from a local player standpoint, between him and Warner Brown, them are the flagship bearer right now for the JPL.
Yeah.
Them are give me. I hope. I'm hoping that this is inspiring a lot of local players to continue do what they're doing. Yeah, man. Him almost scoring at the game. Remember the
Yeah,
volley
man.
there?
Yeah,
The
eat the
volley there
post.
hit the
Yeah,
post. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Yeah. So I mean, when you see a player from the local league getting the opportunity to play, and you see how comfortable he is, I mean, I don't know if it's safe to say that the league is doing its job, or the coaches that is coaching within the Premier League, they're doing a fantastic job with the limited resources that they have.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to remember, I think this is his back-to-back season playing in the CONCACAF Champions League, so he's getting that
Mm-hmm.
exposure
Exposure.
as well. I want you to tell me something what I asked you about yesterday. Why we cannot produce midfielders now than what we used to produce back then? Richie, central midfielders.
The biggest problem is a lot of clubs back home, they don't appreciate the past players that they had in their clubs, that they considered great players.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't appreciate that. Hence, why the players who are coming up, right, playing the same position, they don't have that model player to look up to anymore, right? In my time, coming through my journey, I had Peter Cargill. I said it to you earlier
yeah,
on this platform that I got tapes of Peter Cargill,
yeah,
yeah, that I went home, sat down and watched. I didn't use my time to go on the corner and go try be the man on the corner. That wasn't my thing. The players nowadays, yo, I said it to you yesterday. Some of the players who I see play in the Premier League, them have more tattoo than the type of football them I play.
yeah.
You
You
hear me tell you?
mentioned it. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Them no take pride in them craft and try like develop them craft and enhance themselves so that you look at 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 100,000 where them a make a Jamaica.
yeah,
Them can turn that in a US currency, a Canadian currency, a British pound, or a euro. Them now look on it panda scale. Them want the opportunity to go play in those environments, but they need to ask themselves the question: am I doing enough to enhance my game? I don't think they are.
yeah,
You know what I say? Wanting it and having the required tool to get it is two different things.
yeah,
And I think they only want the opportunity, but they're not preparing themselves for it. Well, we have examples. We have perfect examples. We have Kaim Dixon, Trevante Stewart, Warner Brown, because in the next couple of months, him gone. We
in
can tell you
Ghana.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. We have Richard King, same thing. See there, it's about to announce him
yeah,
gone. So nobody have the excuse. Go to them man and ask them what have they been doing different, why they look like they belong in the same space as all the other players who are playing in England, in Europe, in Saudi Arabia. Ask them, go to them, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go ask them. Ask them. And
mm,
they'll tell you just hard work.
yeah. I
Yeah.
talked to somebody at Arnett Garden and a player that currently in the squad, and I asked him about Warner Brown. He said if Arnett Garden train 2 hours for the day, Warner train 6 hours.
There you go.
That hard work, and them say yo Warner Brown living at the gym on him legs him non-stop running, and you could see it in a game that a player that want to improve because as I said before, he went to Europe as a young man. He saw what it is to be at the top level in Europe. Some things didn't materialize up between him and the club and the agent, so he came back, got a contract at Arnett Garden, and just started to deliver again. And I think he scored like 1 or 2 goals before this season finished. This season, he's a top marksman that showed that he's hungry and he want to provide for his team, but not for his team, but for his career as well. And Richard King is another one
Family.
that,
No, I was about to say it's family.
yeah,
Because at the end
yeah,
of the
yeah,
day,
yeah,
at the end of
yeah,
the day, this football thing, after 10 years, nobody can remember about you,
yeah,
You get what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah, man,
yeah,
you better secure your financial future, man. And God give you a gift. Yeah. Not everybody are gonna be lucky like myself, because I consider myself lucky. Not
yeah,
everybody are gonna be lucky like myself, where after football, like I was able to start a business that becomes, my job.
yeah.
Because this are what me do. Me live, breathe, eat, sleep, everything where you can think about football, even my wife a football give me. And I think
Mm,
everybody can say that.
yeah,
You get me? So not everybody are gonna be lucky like me, for be able to do what I'm doing after football. So while you have the energy, and you're strong enough to put in the work where you can, get yourself a professional contract where you make decent money,
yeah,
Regin, my advice to any man who have played the game, yeah man, after 10 years, everybody will say, yeah man, general, big up yourself, national, this, that. After 10 years, nobody never remember you. Remember
true.
me tell you that. After 10
Yeah,
years, nobody no remember you. So yeah man, when you're full of energy, man, just put in the effort and try get yourself the opportunity. One, to get a national team call, and when you do get the call, even if a one time you get the call, just make use of it. Because
yeah,
you will stamp your name in the coach thoughts.
yeah,
You get me at all times. And again, me I tell you to them two young man, yeah, Richard King. Well, a three young man still, but you
yeah,
know me at all. But
yeah, yeah,
me not say
yeah, yeah,
Dwayne Atkinson enough yet. Even
yeah,
though Dwayne Atkinson, I'm a virgin son,
yeah.
Yeah, man, my virgin we used to play for Santos as well, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man, my virgin man.
Give him
Prefect,
some
big up
advice.
yourself.
Give him some advice. There. Give him some advice. In for
They talk
enhancing.
about Dwayne Atkinson.
Yeah,
Him
man.
just
Give
have
him
to
some.
continue to stay hungry, man, because him and
Yeah,
Richard King, remember them got Iceland together,
yeah.
right? And
Big talent, you know.
brother, the schooler man.
Yeah, man. A big talent, man.
Yeah, man. Him father named Dwayne Atkinson too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Him father was a defender like Lamar Morgan. Same way them play.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Same way them play, man. But yeah, all him have to do, brother, just stay hungry. They say the bad mind thing that make sure say, make it catch you. You know
Yeah.
what I say? Yeah, man. Yeah, just make sure it not catch you, brother. Nobody
Yeah.
jealous over a man thing. Just put in your work. Your day will come. You get what I say? And, when the day come, you just embrace the opportunity and stay humble, stay
Yeah.
hungry, and just make sure so you understand, say, yo, there were people before you, and now it's your turn. Make sure so when you leave the game, you leave it in a good place. Get what I
Yeah.
say? Yeah, man. Take care of all, man, because me I tell him sacrifice a lot to
Yeah.
get away there. You get me?
Yeah.
Yo, it's a football family, same sister play ball too for national team.
A lie.
Yo, it's a football family, man.
You know,
Him
so
sister
one,
big ball
so
every
one
man.
more than I Premier League. You play for Tivoli, Nikolai Fullaway, Shelton, Ima Shelton, a family, and also Fuller again, a family as well. Nicola Fuller play for Tivoli, a
Eh?
youngster. Yeah, man, Iman
Yeah,
Shelton. I
man.
think he must say auntie and Shelton a family or something like. But Iman Shelton and Fuller a family.
Wow. Wow. The
That's a
lineage the lineage the deep in the brother. And him a striker to down.
yeah, like wing striker, creative player, very
Okay.
explosive as well, very good free kick taker as well too. We have what 6 minutes before to 2 hours before we end the conversation. What really I go out with the Reggae girls? Back to back World Cup, it seems that we just suffer. Dean Burton them game basket we carry water. We can't find the coach. A man we get the best ever result as a national coach for the Reggae girls, Lana Donaldson. In our group with Brazil, Panama, and France, get out of that play. Colombia lost that game. We can't find him. We are saying get fire us around a Chicago women team or whatever team in the WSL where they want there. What really? What's your takes on the current situation? Like we don't
Oh,
understand what going Richie like from
yeah.
highs to lows. The girls them just you know.
Brother, just Jamaica that still face still. Yo, brother, we tell you, as a nation, as a nation, it look like we thrive. We thrive on negativity, you know. Remember me tell you. You see me? But anyways, to give some inspiration, brother,
Yeah.
we need some leadership like Ibrahim Traore right now. You get
Mm,
me? I say, yeah, man, we need some people who understand, say, yo, there's certain things will come with us as a nation and as people, and we just need to embrace where we do best
yeah.
and try to enhance on that. What weakness what we have, yes, we can work on it, but as with strength,
Yeah.
yeah, man, we need to use with strength, man, and capitalize on a lot of other nation weakness, brother.
Yeah.
Listen, by nature, as Jamaicans, we have creative minds. You get what I say? And we don't enhance that enough. We model our style of playing of Brazil. Over the years, if you can name all of the players them where you know were skillful,
Yeah.
why we take that away from our people?
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
what I say? We
Yeah.
need to understand where we do best and try enhance on that and the weakness. Yes, of course, we reinforce, the importance of, strengthening the weakness. But what
Yeah.
make us who we are, we need to enhance our ability, to continue build players in that um regiment. You get me?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, brother, we stray away from what make us who we are. That a women can say in regards to the female program.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What got us to the
The
World
World
Cup?
Cup. Yeah. World
Togetherness.
Cups. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, togetherness.
Yeah. Togetherness. Yeah. And a plan.
Yeah, a togetherness, brother. We have one plan, one aim, and the objective was clear. We want to qualify for the World Cup. So when you qualify for the World Cup, you already win the World Cup by qualifying. Now, different objective, different
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
You get what I say?
Yeah.
But I always say this. I always say this, and you will hear it in a whole heap of other interviews that I've done in the past. Our people, our people, we have a long-term goal with a short-term mindset. You understand?
You would have thought that big enough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, man.
Big man.
We always we always look for the big picture, We always look for the big picture, but we want it now.
Mm,
I'ma tell them since me migrate come to Canada, yo, me get invited to watch a lot of Canadian national team training session, and I've been in the national team setup. Grew up in the national team setup, and I've never seen what I saw in the Canadian national team setup. I've never experienced that while I was playing with the national team.
wow.
I've never experienced it, and
Wow.
a lot of people who have different conversation with me can tell you how highly I spoke about the youths coming through the Canadian system. Brother, Canada gonna qualify for the next probably 4 or 5 World Cups.
Wow.
Yeah, because let's face it, 90% of Canadian population is based on Caribbean people and European people.
Yeah.
When you forge those two together, trouble, trouble,
Yeah.
trouble. Yeah.
There was a question earlier when I asked you about heritage, not heritage, but the players that's coming through your system. Is there any one of those aligned with Jamaican heritage? And you said yeah. And the person asked and said, did you ever try to contact the federation about these players for a youth call up or whatever?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No,
I,
Nicardo, no, me know say you just ask a question
yeah.
that somebody asks. You sure you want me answer that? Me not think you want me answer that on the platform, yeah?
This is it right here from Lee Young. Do you reach out to the JFF about those players?
Ricardo, remember, like I've been working with the U17
Yeah.
team that just missed out on the World Cup qualifiers, right? So it's not like they don't know where I'm based. It's not like they don't know the kind of influence that I have with the Canadian youths.
Yeah.
Listen, Yo, me don't want to talk on a platform, man. Let me
Yeah,
keep my thoughts to myself.
yeah,
Let me keep my thoughts to myself. Lee Young, my apologies, brother, but you have got get my number from the card, and if you want to talk to me, you talk to me half here. Not on a platform, brother.
yeah, yeah. So I
But
mean,
there's so many talented players where me have close ties to. Like when I say close ties, like all it take is for me have a conversation with them parents, and the rest of history because the trust is there.
mm,
You get me? I say the talent
yeah,
is there. It's not like we're talking about players who is not playing at a level where you can consider the highest level at their age. So we have connection with loads of players,
yeah.
loads,
And it
and it's
was,
both
yeah,
males and females. So it's not just
wow.
males alone; it's
Uh,
males and females. Yeah, man. And I'm talking about players who, one, in the National Development Center here,
mm-hmm.
two, provincial level talent. Provincial meaning, remember when we used to have um you call this now all parish
Yeah, the
back
parish
home.
league thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so we deal with province over here. So we have
Uh,
provincial level players who
mm-hmm.
may have close ties to whom we work with consistently. We have players who, yes, they're provincial level players, but never make the cut because the province massive.
Yeah, it's big. The
Yeah,
talent pool is
so
big.
big. So you can just imagine what I'm talking about. I'm gonna need to elaborate right now. Right
You
now,
can say,
one of the best goalkeeper right now,
yeah,
which is a 2009 born player
yeah,
in TFC program,
yeah.
he's Jamaican.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You can say yes or no. Do you believe in a quota system for the youth teams?
No,
Do they have it in Canada?
no.
So, all right, just leave it right. People, leave it right there. We don't need to know what really are going and why we youth teams still a fail. You hear the man say? There's no quota system in Canada and you don't believe in it. And you know what are going already doing our setup. So people leave it like that.
Me
You
tell
know,
you already, still enough. Me tell you already, Nicardo.
yeah, man.
Before you go, me tell you already. It no matter if a man gone around Australia around one
Yeah,
part
man.
around there, as long as him have Jamaican lineage, he's Jamaican.
Yeah, we know a madness, you know, sharp man. A
No
madness,
prejudice.
madness. So you can't say, but for me, a quota system is like division of the players them of where them born and all them things, and you know, man want bring to them best player and all of them. And them thing they will see go on.
If you
You
have the
understand?
quality, and you deserve to play, you play. You're Jamaican regardless of where you come from. Me that Canada, born and raised in Jamaica. So my youth them were born in Canada. They're not Jamaicans.
That more I know. That more I know. Hey,
But
but always in contact with a director of football in Dominican Republic. You see what the man them do over there, Richie? And I know normal, you know?
no, I mean, I not just Dominican Republic, brother.
No, I
Everybody
know.
know.
I
No,
know.
when me I go with the line of conversation, yeah. Everybody know, understand the way how the Europeans organize themselves so that they can have so much success there. You understand?
Yeah.
That is the key. If you have structure and you have a system and you make people buy into it, you can't go sideways. You have to have success.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a rocket science, man.
Yeah. So people only know what really are going, only know how the dinosaur them in the football and the one them where contaminate the football. You understand? We know the man them especially where we one black and white color on one part where they have a community. And them man they mash up the football. You can't stay there. The man them full of virus, but coach, really appreciate the chat, we will, keep in dialogue and all of that. But your last word, to 876 people in the diaspora.
Continue to support the football and remember, positive over negative all the time. Support the youth, them man. Support the ballers, and yeah, we can all celebrate and go our next World Cup and all a joy and wear our colors and yeah, man. Just support football. Football always gonna be the winner because it bring we together.
Yeah, yeah, man. That is it, people. Sharp man, bless up yourself. Much
Yeah,
love
man.
and
Thank
respect.
you. Thank you for having me, brother. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
man.
reach out anytime once I'm available. Yeah, man. My
Yeah, man.
time is at your disposal.
Yeah, man. Respect for that.
Every
I am
time.
a boss. Yeah, man,
Bless
man.
you.
People, that is sharp, man. You understand? Me telling you, like, but talk to somebody from Grenada that have connection and do recruiting around, and the man didn't have no quota system. The Dominican Republic. If my memory serve me right, I think I didn't knock you out of the under 20 qualification. Why we never qualify for the Olympic and not qualify for the U20 World Cup. You understand? And the man didn't have a quota system. The man just said Canada have a quota system. You understand, bro? Like, me not understand like why there's like yo, coach speak some stuff, around the football, and it's deserve to be re-upload again. This video deserve to be re-upload again, and some stuff we need to set done, and a time to say some of them things they has yet. You understand? But the man them, the fraternity, the football fraternity in Jamaica, I came to it, so I can speak, and I know the one them where I contaminate the fraternity with them virus. We know them. Yeah, and them know themselves. You understand? So we just hope the man them can get it to the World Cup, and hopefully, we can get things right. Because like the football around the region, the man them get better. Yeah, the man, what I'm gonna tell you, one of the reasons I save our national team, our beloved Jamaica team, you see the players them that we can grab from England at that level. Nobody else in this region have that abundance of quality where them can attract those players. Nobody else not have that around here. So it's that kind of save our football a little bit. That kind of save our football a little bit. So we just hope for the best, more push some more positive energy out there, because tomorrow match day versus Guatemala. And after that, you don't know a World Cup qualifier, so a World Cup will say people, you understand, World Cup will say, but the man need to fix the football from the youth system come up, because I see the man said them have a national academy that continue to train, and we don't really. What about the youth them where did that prepare for the U17 World Cup? They still should have in some preparation who have the age, because to be honest, like we never if you drop out after the World Cup qualifier for the Youth 17. Never. I understand, and some things were really pull through. I know we can't say Freddie Butler come. And Freddie Butler under the cars for happen. It's bigger than Freddie Butler. Why we can't have any past players? Look at how Sharpman Academy is. It's called powerful it is. We have Ryan Thompson. We're keeping one of them Gold Cup. They have one of the biggest goalkeeper academy in America. Probably the biggest in Houston as well. And America, we see the man a coach in one of them Gold Cup there. You understand what I mean? I say, so we as a nation, we now go back for the players that have done it in the past who are highly skilled trained. And somebody asked me about the assistant coach, what I think about the assistant coach. The assistant coach need to go about in business. Yeah, I mean, I say the man, some of our coaching staff not competent enough for that position. So sometimes I just the ball of them on the pitch. Sometimes I just where the players them not get the right results. Sometimes a whole heap of look of factors around football where it just nah match up. It just nah add up together. Just nah add up. Right now, if I type in such man name as the word assistant coach, you can't ever find nothing upon him. And Reading man, I call him on Google. Reading man. You understand? So people, that is it, You don't know, me jump out, catch you guys later. Yeah, back again doing another live. So, on your way out, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Much love and respect to the individuals that continue to support the channel. You understand? Bless up, people. I'm out.